Hi, I'm Simaru, and welcome back to my channel. I apologize for the cat. She doesn't want to go. I have tried to move her, but she keeps on coming back. This is Megorian. She wants to build today, so you might see her every now and then, or maybe like hear the purring. I'm so sorry, the cat wants attention and the video needs to be made. So sacrifices. But enough about that. In today's video, we are going to build a modern 2-bedroom, I won't say it's suburban house, but it is in suburbia, Newcrest suburbia. So yeah, a modern house for 2 Sims. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Now this build was kind of an experimental build. I wasn't really planning on posting it. I was testing out like frame rates and things like that. This was my second build that I built on this capture card. So yeah, I wasn't actually really planning on posting it, but in the end I actually really liked this build. I started close to the end. I started like really personalizing it, so I have like this entire backstory. I enjoyed this build. I then, decided to turn it into a speed build and post it. But that's the little backstory of this build. Now let's talk about the build itself. So this is a 2-bedroom modern house. There's a lot of windows, a lot of different textures. Like, I really wanted to play around with the frames. So with that big frame that we have at the front of the house, you can see that the inside, like all of the little squares are different, even these side angled ones. So I play around a lot with making my own framed, like windows. Like, I play around a lot. I have said it before, but we need more doors for medium to tall wall heights. We just don't have enough. The Sims introduced this beautiful thing of giving us different wall heights, but then just neglected to actually commit. Like I feel they do with a lot of things when it comes to The Sims 4. But this is not a video of me bashing The Sims 4. I love this game. I will probably always love this game. Until The Sims 5 comes out. When The Sims 5, or if it ever comes out, we don't know. At this point, it's like myth. It's like a proper myth. Like, we don't know. It's a question of, I don't know. I feel like The Sims 4 is gonna go on for many a years still. And I think they also said that as well at like one point, like last year or the beginning of this year. Now, away from that, going on an unnecessary tangent, I removed the one pillar, the one that's in front of the staircase. I felt that it like kind of just blocks off this already small little hallway that I'm doing. And then of course we are sitting with a window glitch, but I tried to work around that as well. A roof trim glitch. At this point I didn't really know how I wanted the windows to be, especially up there, so I just left it, but I do go back and I place just some paneled windows. That entire wall becomes windowed, and then you kind of don't really see the roof trim. I also don't know why I didn't just use a different roof trim. If I think about it, like, I honestly can't tell you. I built this back in March, and I was in such a different mind space back then that I really cannot tell you what my thought process was and why I decided to do that. But as you can see at the back, I already played around with building my own little window frame around this the sliding door, because for some reason none of the sliding doors go all the way up into any of the wall heights except for short wall height as per usual, and only if you have eco lifestyle. So yeah, that's fun. Now I'm also building my own little double window, kind of like what we had in The Sims 2 back in the day, where they used to give you windows that like spread it over 2 stories. Now I use our normal base game windows, and then I went in with the Mount Komorebi windows as well, the ones that came with Snowy Escape. So yeah, you can see I'm placing that wall of just glass windows. I'm a little bit on the edge of it. I don't know till today. I'm like, should I just have removed 2 windows on the side? But then I remembered, oh yeah, I took it the entire wall through because of that roof glitch and me not choosing a different roof trim. I think it probably also has to do with the type of roof that I chose. I don't know. That's how I'm comforting myself on this situation. But yeah, now we are going in and I'm just placing a lot of doors. On the upstairs, the windows are quite tall. They are really high up, but I don't mind it. The lighting in that room is just amazing. It kind of reminds me of one of my friends. They lived on like our work premises, and the windows in like where the staff could live, they were really high up because the walls were just insane. But like insanely high, because it was kind of like built in like a weird ditch. It went down towards like a massive hill going down to a lagoon, so the entire property was kind of built on like a hill. So yeah, it was very weird how the house itself was built, but I always loved those windows that were so high. It just made the place seem so big. And yeah, so that's what I went with this house. Now when I started decorating, I went into the kitchen itself. This is where I decided to bring in a lot of yellow. Yellow is my primary color that I decided to go with. My accent color, sorry. I also tried to play around with the kitchen cabinets. I feel like it was such a missed opportunity with Dream Home Decorator that it didn't match the 2 upper cabinets. It sucks. We can't use them together because the one is thicker than the other. It's unnecessary. It's such a missed opportunity. But we are long, long away from the kitchen. We are in the TV area. I kind of tried to play around with the platforms and wall paint, trying to make kind of like an elevated situation where you can put like your TV and things, like its own little cabinet, like built into the wall itself. But I couldn't get past the fact that the colors, they just don't blend, even though they are supposed to. All the same swatches of the wood tone, they are the same. So I feel like they were supposed to kind of blend, but yeah, they didn't. So I just went with the eco lifestyle wood, the same texture as what I used on the outside, and I just bring that indoors as an accent. I'm also trying to play around with this turquoise in the hallway, but I place that in the rest of the house at certain parts, like at the TV area and so on. I kind of like that little bit of pop of color that isn't completely yellow. It was a nice break. Every room itself has got like some form of a different color, but it all has the same vibe, that eco lifestyle where it's just a hard painted line. So I don't really mind. I think it still added a lot of personality playing around with that and placing that in the different bedrooms. Now, complaining about Dream Home Decorator again, even though it is one of my favorite packs, it's that sectionals, once they are attached, you can't move them together. It makes no sense. Everything else works that way. And also, if you try to alt place it, they just don't snap. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. It's just a mystery. It's a mystery game. It's a gamble every day. Now, in the lounge area, I usually like that table that I initially started to use, but it just didn't go, so I went with Eco Lifestyle again. At least that entire pack is quite cohesive, so I feel like that table really blends itself well with the wooden texture that we have and the colors. Now outside, I got these little stone steps from Debug. It's just base game Debug. I like the way that they looked. It kind of matched with the formalness that I went with the house and everything being so square and so perfect. So I really like that. Now, I also wanted the entire place to be fenced off, but I also wanted you to be able to see still beyond the backyard. So I went with this black metal railing, and I really like it. Now, at front, I also went with this gravel. I removed that one step. I kind of wanted originally for it to go around, but I decided against it and I just put some hedges on that side, kind of blocking it off. I placed this gravel everywhere else, and I am going to put plants on top of it. I really like the way that looks when you place normal plant life on top of gravel. I do go for like a cacti type of plant, so it does make sense. Here I'm just trying to lay out some rocks, trying to make it look natural also, so I didn't go for a straight line. It is supposed to be that wonky. And then I just placed some grass in between it, that wild grass. Now, these purple hydrangeas, I have learned the name. I also can't remember that. Oh, I can't believe that I didn't know that it was like an hydrangea, because I love blue hydrangea from Drag Race. But yeah, now I'm just placing some more wild grass. I went with a fountain in front of it. It looks so cute. And then that one, I don't know, this looks so natural and I really like it. I think it's the type of garden that would come with this house. And then I pair it with this grey brick, like stepping brick. That's the only place where I place that. And it works, it's so good. I can't wait, maybe I do place it at back. I can't actually remember. But yeah, I'm placing those plants from Cats and Dogs. That weird spiky cacti bush. It looks really good. And I love that color that they come in. It's a weird bluish green, and it always just complements the normal green. It also just breaks it. It's really good. I tried to play around with the vines of the house, but I didn't like it, so I left that out. But instead, I placed this cacti. Oh man, I just said the word. I placed this plant wall. Yeah, but I can't remember what plants they are. Like, I have the Afrikaans word all of a sudden in my head, but yeah. I don't think a lot of people on my channel will know what that is. Not that I have a big channel here, but still. Trying to be considerate. Now, I do change, so I changed this to more of a wood at the back. I liked it a bit more. I just break the mundaneness of everything being white. I change a lot of this gravel, especially, well, I think I actually changed this gravel from the painted gravel to the normal tile. It didn't really blend well with something. I know that I placed like a jacuzzi at the back, like a hot tub, and something there just didn't blend very well, so yeah, I didn't go with that. Now, I also used custom paintings in this house. I am going to tag the creator who made them down in my description. I unfortunately cannot remember the name at the moment. I'm so bad with names. But I will tag them, and it will also be tagged in my gallery itself. It was so cool. I didn't really like any of the paintings that's in the game. It didn't really go with the house, so yeah. If you just go in the gallery and you search custom paintings, there are a lot, and they're not actual CC, but they do count as CC in the gallery, so all my builds are CC free, just by the way. Now, it just makes it a bit easy accessible. I love CC, I just want to put that out there. But when it comes to like downloading and things, it's not that easy to just, you know, it's not that easy accessible. But in this room, I put all the Jerrys and the Jerry variants against the wall, all those paintings. But now we are moving to the kids' bedroom. I went with this reddish, greenish, orangey color with it. I really like this green accent that I use. I was just making sure that it matches the bed, and it actually does. These are from two different packs. The one is Eco Lifestyle and the one is Dream Home Decorator. So I was really surprised when I found out that the greens actually match. I've been saying that a lot these days. Like, I feel like I've hated on The Sims unnecessarily. Like, I just stick to when I want to use a wood swatch and it doesn't match. I'm like, oh, nothing matches in this game. But yeah, I think that was mistaken. Yeah, I'm also just swapping out Blarfy. I think the cat just matched the room a bit better. Blarfy kind of clashed, and I know that's a stupid thing to do, or to worry about because it's a kid's toy, but I wanted it to be aesthetic and I wanted it to look nice. So now we're just going around just placing some carpets. I am starting to more personalize the kitchen and things. I didn't really, in the beginning when I placed everything, I just wanted to place everything down, kind of get like the vibe of the house of what I was going for. And then I knew that I was going to come back and then just personalize it a bit more, which is what I'm doing now. I am using that cow plant in a glass container. I think I used that like twice. It's so cool. So I just had to. It's such a beautiful decoration. We need more of those. I love all the newer plants that we have in The Sims. Like, especially that kit that we got. That's such a good kit. I use those plants everywhere. So there you can see me placing the custom paintings that I got off of the gallery. They just blend so beautifully. I do change all the frames to the wood again. I wanted to make it the grey because I felt like the wood tones didn't really match, but in the end I liked the warmth that it gave, so I do change it back. The grey is nice, but the house already, if it wasn't for the yellow, it would have been quite, like bland. The main house, not the bedrooms and things like that. Like, that's quite nice. Like, I really like that. I'm now going back to the kids' room, just adding some personality there as well. I just had to think more about also what type of child this is going to be, what family I wanted to have here. So my storyline that I went with was that this is like an older sibling, like a sister with a younger sibling, and their parents unfortunately passed away, and they were left with with a lot of money, and they decided to build this house. So the main bedroom is kind of, you would see between like a teen and like a young adult, like kind of decorated like that. So yeah, that was my initial story that I had for this. And the little child, I also felt like they really loved movies. I placed a horror and a horror flick poster in there. I know you probably shouldn't show your children any horror movies, but his sister is like basically a teen, so I think she doesn't really care. She didn't really think of the consequences. Now, into the bathroom. I make this entire wall like a mirror wall. It felt a bit dark and a bit small, and just placing the mirrors, it really lightens up this place and it makes this bathroom look bigger, and open, and yeah, it just looks like a fun time in there. And the windows also, it's quite high, even for sim levels. So the mirrors, they really help. I like this bathroom. It's plain, it's blue and green, well, with green accents, but it came out quite nice. That is the downstairs bathroom, the guest bathroom per se. Now, the staircase kind of looked a bit empty to me, so I alt-lifted one of the plants and placed that in, like, on top of the staircase. I didn't place any railings there, just like with my land grab manor, it was purposefully done. I mean, it's a double staircase. The chance of falling is not that big. So I just didn't like the way that the railings looked, so I decided no. Now this bedroom, my favorite. This is where I really started to love this build. This is where I was like, okay, I'm going to post this on YouTube just because I love this. I would love to have this bedroom. That painting on the wall, it's amazing. I always try to use it, but it's so specific that it's very difficult to work it into my everyday build. And when I got to use it in this build, I was just ecstatic. I was like, okay, no, this is going on YouTube. I love this. And that was back in March. I only started posting in October, so yeah. And you know, the anxiety. It took a lot to actually post, but I'm glad that I did. But also, this is not what this build is about. Now I'm doing the upstairs bathroom. I went with an open archway. I didn't want to close this bathroom off. It's already small. I also didn't want to place two of those large doors, and we don't really have any other doors that I like that's the same height as her main bedroom doors. So the archway just made more sense. So I went with that. We don't argue with certain things. Some things you just let it go. Just let it be. It's okay. Having the anxiety is not worth it. Now I'm going back to the kitchen. As I've mentioned, this video is sometimes it's all over the place. So yeah, bear with me. It's a trust the process. Now I'm going back to the kitchen, just like personalizing it a bit more, especially this side of the counter where I didn't really do a lot yet. So I'm placing some plants on top of the microwave. It's probably not that good for the plant, but it looks good in the house. And it's The Sims, so maybe it's a fake plant. Now, I placed the sink, and then I really like this, like, rack that came with Parenthood, I think. This dish rack, it looked cool. I went with white plates. Usually in like a modern build I won't place something like that, but because these are basically children, I was like, okay, they can have this. This is something that they would have. They probably won't pack away their dishes, so... I know when I was 20 I didn't pack away my dishes. No, made no sense. Now I'm also just adding some more personality to the living area. I decided to give them a dog. I think the dog would just add some personality. It was like, shame. They would want a dog. I would want a dog. Or a cat. Well, I have cats. I would probably want a cat. But still, you would want a pet. It makes sense. Shame. These poor kids. And then that window, I also rose up that little triangle plant thing that came with... yeah, that kit, the plant kit. I wanted to place things on that windowsill. On the opposite one I tried to place a book, but I just couldn't get it all placed. And I didn't really think of putting a shelf and then raising the shelf up to that height. I don't know why. It's usually what I do, but for some reason I forgot that. So there's no book on the opposite side of the windowsill. No personality thing. But now we're back at the back of the house, in the outdoors. This is where I decide to place the hot tub. I make my own little large planter box here. I'm just adding some lavender. Well, I'm gonna add some lavender, I think, to that later. Or maybe the lavender goes around the pool. I can't remember. But lavender will be added. You best believe. Now, you can't place half walls on the, like, when you sink things down. So I went with like a brick tone, because the woods just didn't blend well with my planter box, and I didn't want to change what my planter box looked like, so I was like, okay, this is just gonna happen. We go with a black brick. I still think it looks nice. And yeah, I'm placing some lavender. So I do place the lavender here. I think that back bedroom, oh, the smell of that lavender off the office must be so nice. I would have that window open all the time while the lavender is there, except for maybe the bees. Shame, but we must protect the bees, but still. Scary. So, and they might come in your house and then they might die. So maybe it's not such a good idea. Now, I do place lavender around the pool as well. I think that is the only plants at the back that I actually place, now that I think about it. And that's also fine. This is a very... I think I did that purposefully as well, thinking that, you know, these teenagers, well, this teenager and the child, like, they're not really going to maintain a garden. But I really love this back garden, despite all of that. I like the hot tub that's sunken, and the pool that's also a bit sunken from the deck area, and that there's a lot of parts that you like have to climb up to, and that beautiful dining area. I then just placed this planted back as well with a little stool, just if you want to go and sit and just relax it back. Now, I'm going upstairs again, just adding some personality. I put that little white chair there, just going around with the plants, and then finally I decided, okay, I have to do this little hallway that we have in the upstairs. Now I went with black. That is completely different from the rest of the house, but I just add some, like a laptop and some plants. I do like the different texture, but I really wanted to use that painting, and I didn't really know what else to pair with it. Pairing some light things with it just didn't work, like the white wood tone, so the black just made a little bit more sense, so that's why I did that on, like I placed the black on the upstairs. Now I'm going around just adding some lights. I change out a lot of the front door lights, and I use these chandeliers a lot in the house. Well, I think there and on the staircase, so I say a lot, but it's only twice, but it's a lot for one house to use chandeliers, but it works. I don't get to use them a lot, so when you do get to use it, like, take advantage of it. Now, in the pool, I go with this ringed light, like the strip lights that came with Spa Day, and then I just add those little candles in the pool again. I do shrunk them down again. I don't know why I rose them up, but yeah, now I'm just going around just placing just terrain painting, just your general terrain paint, make the house look like it's part of the world. But we are getting close to the end of the build, so let me quickly jump in and then I'll show you around. Okay, here we are back in the build. We are immediately met with this beautiful, beautiful fake golf course. That's their view. All the red little flags. And they are very red. You best believe. They went with the brightest red that they could find. But when we enter this house, this is what we see from the front. It's so beautiful. Like, honestly, I love this little view from the inside. But yeah, when we enter, here's our little hallway. It is quite small, but I still like it. From this angle, look how beautiful that looks. I think everything is just really aesthetic in this house. Like, even this. It's so pretty. Like, I would eat here every day. Like, honestly. And then winter time. Now, this is the downstairs floor plan. It's a weird shape, but it works. This little hallway here. There's the kids' bedroom, our office space, and then our bathroom with the shower in its own little compartment. This is our TV area. Look how beautiful all the lighting here is. So stunning. I didn't place any curtains in this area. I didn't like the way that they looked. I felt like it kind of obstructed everything. I've said it before, when I don't really place curtains or things like that in my house, like just imagine that there's like, I don't know, like there's secret blinds that you could just pull down. It's kind of what I had in mind. Now, this is the upstairs floor plan. It's just a square. And there's a little pillar just to make the bathroom seem not that awkward, and the toilet not seem like it's going in like a lot. So yeah, I quite like it. It is a little bit of a tight squeeze there, but that's fine. Your Sims can make it. And then this beautiful, beautiful bedroom, and all the pinks and the yellows and the purples, everything just works. Everything just works. I love this bedroom. There's Michaela. I made her purposefully a little bit uncomfortable so that her plumb bob can match the room. Aesthetics. Shame, poor Michaela. I love Michaela. I'm sorry, Michaela. I'll put a cheat on you in a minute, and I'll make you better. Thank you so much if you stayed the entirety of this video. If you like this, I post videos daily, so please like and subscribe, and then I will see you all again tomorrow. Goodbye.